Please be seated. Lindsay Rane Carter began her professional career with Great Southern Wood Preserving in 2012 when she began working as an assistant in the corporate legal department and is now the director of external affairs. In this role, she works as an attorney while also overseeing government affairs interests at the local, state, and national level. In addition, she manages the security department and provides oversight for social media activities. Lindsay is a 2010 graduate of Auburn University, where she was a member of the Auburn equestrian team. She also attended the Families and Business Executive Education program at Harvard Business School. She earned her law degree from Faulkner University's Thomas Good Jones School of Law in Montgomery and is a member of the Alabama State Bar. Please welcome Miss Lindsay Rane Carter.
No? Yes? Hi. Okay. Hello. I just love speaking to small, intimate crowds. This is great. It's okay, you can laugh. I have a very fragile ego. In fact, I'd rather you laugh. Please laugh. A plus. Keep that up for the rest of the day, okay? So I'm going to get my glasses out in case I can't see my notes. I want to get this right. Look, I don't need an overachiever, okay? Okay. My name is Lindsay. I am so honored to be with you today. I was having a conversation with my dad, who is here in the front row, and he said, Lindsay, presidents have spoken from that podium. Generals, admirals, you need to understand what an honor it is for you to speak from that podium. And I said, great, Dad, no pressure. I feel really confident now to speak from the same podium. You guys chose me. Thank you. I'm so honored to follow presidents and generals and admirals. So I was asked to speak to you guys about what it's like to be a woman in business. And all of us know women, right? Raise your hand if you know a woman. Okay, great. I think this speech is going to work. I think it's going to work. So, being a woman in business, especially in a male-dominated industry, is a very interesting thing. But I feel like I can't talk about what it's like to be a woman in business if I don't tell you who Lindsay is. So I would like to tell you who Lindsay is first. I'd like to start at the beginning, and then I'll tell you what it's like to be a woman in business. Is that okay? I want to start from the beginning. So, when a man and a woman really love each other, is that too far? Did I go too far back? Okay, let me fast forward a little bit. I was born and raised in Abbeville. My family is a big, loud Italian family. We are always in each other's business, but we love each other very much. Sometimes too much, but that's okay. A lot of you know my family's story. You know about my granddad. And my granddad was a very important figure in my life. He not only encouraged me from a very young age, and maybe it's because his mother was a very strong woman. His father passed away when he was very young from appendicitis in Madison, Wisconsin. He was an immigrant from Sicily, and he got appendicitis, and he passed away at a very young age. And my great-grandmother had to raise her children without him. And so my granddad was raised by a very strong woman, and then he joined the military. And in his time in the military, he met and married a very strong woman. She was a redhead, if that tells you anything. And my grandmother was a very strong lady. So my granddad always encouraged me to not just be a strong person, but be a strong woman. He appreciated the subtleties of being a woman. As a child, he would encourage me to engage in conversation, and he would always compliment me. So after we had been somewhere and he had heard me speaking with people, he would always say, "Lindsay, you carried that conversation very well." And that meant a lot to me, not just as a child, but as a female child, as a girl, that my granddad not only wanted to hear what I had to say, but encouraged me to share with others. And I always felt very loved by him and very important to him because I was important to him. And he never was afraid to show that. He taught me so many things. The value of hard work. He taught me that your word is your bond. He taught me that it's important to stand and honor a flag when you see one. He was also a depression survivor, and so he yelled at me if I used too many paper towels. But that's okay, because I still count the paper towels that I use to this day because he taught me those lessons. You can laugh. It's okay. You can laugh. So he was just a very critical figure in my life and was so encouraging of me. He actually told me, I got my degree in English from Auburn, and I came home after college, and he said, "What are you going to do? It's time for you to go to work." And I said, "Dee Dee, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I'm not really sure yet." And he said, "Well, you need to do something. You can't just sit around and not do anything. I think I know what you should do." And I said, "Okay, what?" He said, "Well, somebody writes speeches for the president. You could write speeches for the president. Where do I find that job application? Does anybody know where I apply for that job?" Funny enough, full circle, one of my good friends actually wrote speeches for a president. So I don't know, I guess he found out where to apply. I never did. I don't write speeches for the president. That's not in my bio. So my grandparents, as you can tell, were a great foundation for me. They have meant a lot to me. They still continue to. So I have that foundation growing up. Very important to me. My parents are very important to me as well. I hope that I understand we're recording this, so I hope that my mom will get to see it. My mom is a woman, and Mom, wherever you are, I love you if you're watching. So I went to college. I graduated from college. I was on the equestrian team at Auburn. I was recruited to be a student athlete. It was a wonderful time in my life that taught me a lot of things. Self-discipline, time management. If you're on time for something, you're late. Is that a similar thing here for you guys? If you're on time, you're late. What is on time? 5 minutes early? 10 minutes early? Okay. For us, it was 5 minutes early. I once got to a workout on time, and I had to do a punishment workout. Do y'all know what it was? Does anybody know the old Coliseum in Auburn? Y'all know the old Coliseum? Okay. I had to crawl down the stairs of the old Coliseum on my hands. So I'm going down the stairs this way. It was horrible. I was never late again. So being on the equestrian team was a great experience for me. And I graduated from Auburn, trying to decide what I want to do with my life. My dad was filming commercials out west. And at that time, he asked, I had a degree in English, did I want to help with some of the commercials? Of course I do. I wanted to be in one with him. I thought that would be the most special thing in the world. So we go to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we're in Santa Fe, and the day before I'm supposed to shoot my part, the afternoon before, I've ridden horses my whole life. I jump on a horse I don't know, I've just met. I go riding through country I don't know, because, I was 21 and bulletproof and all those things. Y'all don't know anything about that. How old are you guys? Y'all are all 20s, right? No? How old are you? You're 19? Okay, well, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? You know what it feels like? Okay. He gets it. What's your name? Baxter. Baxter gets it. Baxter gets it. Gets it. So I jump on this horse, and I'm tearing off through the desert. And I'm acting like a true cowgirl, right? I'm whipping this horse. We're running full speed. I'm feeling good about myself. And I see up in front of me that there's this hole. And I think, oh gosh, I'm afraid we're going to hit that. We do. And my horse and I flip, and he lands on top of me. I'm in the middle of the desert. I don't even know where I am. I'm an hour from a hospital. I don't know what my injuries are, but I know that I can't move one of my legs, and I know that I'm in big trouble. So the guy that I was with, thankfully, was able to get me out of there, get me to a hospital. I'm in Santa Fe. I apparently called and talked to my parents. I told them not to worry, that I was fine. I don't even remember that conversation. I get to the hospital. They rush me into the hospital. It's like a scene from ER. Wait, Grey's Anatomy. It's like a scene from Grey's Anatomy. They're rushing me into the hospital. And they call the trauma doctor, and he says, I'm not going to come in. She's not going to make it. Nobody survives those kind of accidents. She'll be dead before the night's over. So they tell my parents that the next 24 hours are critical, that I absolutely have internal injuries, that I have to have internal bleeding. My mother starts praying. They're not really sure, if I'm going to make it. And the next morning, I was still alive. All of the tests that they did came back, and I was fine. I had no bleeding. I had no internal injuries. My pelvis was broken in 3 places, and my tailbone was broken, but I was okay other than that. And the trauma doctor came into my room, and he said, I just had to come shake the hand of the only person I've ever known to survive this accident. And I said, get out. I don't want to shake your hand. You didn't want to see me yesterday. But I survived, and I had to stay in the hospital for about a week, and clearly I didn't get to shoot my part in the commercial, so you won't see me in a Yellowfell commercial. But I left, and I went back home, and I saw my doctor, and he said, your brakes are clean. You could drive a truck through them, but they're clean brakes. But if your brakes and your pelvis had been an inch to the left, you would have bled out and died right there in the desert. If they had been an inch higher, you'd have been paralyzed for the rest of your life. So an inch made the difference in my being able to stand here today in front of you. They told me, all these doctors, that I would never run again, that they didn't know if I'd be able to have kids, that I'd probably always walk with a limp. But I didn't listen to any of that because, again, I was 21 and bulletproof. But I also believed that those things would not happen. And I spent about 6 weeks lying in my bed, my childhood bedroom, staring at the ceiling, just praying, God, what do you want for me? What kind of life do you want for me? If these things are true, what does that mean? Clearly, you had a hand in letting me live through this. So what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do with this? And 6 weeks later, I was able to come off my crutches. I started doing therapy. 10 years later, here I am. I don't limp. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I run 3 miles every week. So none of those things are true. But what mattered was that after my accident, I was dedicated to hard work, and I was dedicated to coming back strong. And that's a mentality that I've carried with me through my whole life, is that hard work is the answer to a lot of situations. And I feel pretty sure that most of the people in this room can agree with that. Let me check my time. Okay. So in law school, after my accident, I moved out to Utah. And I lived in Utah for about a year, taking people on guided horseback rides. It was wonderful. It was a great time in my life. I met a very handsome cowboy, and he's here in the front row because he followed me back home. Maybe a little stalkerish, but it's okay. He's cute. So we came back, and I was trying to think of a way, what are my next steps? What are my next steps? And I make the decision that I want to go to law school. So I start law school. And when I get into law school, the one thing that resonated with me was hard work. And I was never, ever the smartest person in the room, ever. And I very rarely ever am, but that's okay. Because I will tell you that the one thing that the smartest person in the room cannot do is outwork me. I will die before someone outworks me. I just can't, that's just in my spirit. I can't let somebody outwork me. And I've carried that over into my role in business. I'm dedicated to working hard. I'll outwork whoever I need to. I'll stay late. I'll come early. But that's not a character trait that is only mine. That's the strength of the team that I'm on. So I joined a very established team, and coming into this team, I am not only a woman, a fairly young woman. I am a young woman. Let me have that, okay? I'm a young woman. And there are mostly men on my team, and I also happen to be the CEO's daughter. So I had some things I had to overcome. And I will tell you, being the CEO's daughter does not mean that it's easy. It's actually harder. There's nobody that's harder on me than my dad. But coming into a team that is like our team is, it's not only a very strong team, it's a very close team. And so it took me about 2.5 years before I ever really felt accepted into the team, like I felt like I was one of the team. And I still remember the day I got a phone call from a teammate, and his name is Dave Raught, and he works in sales, and he called me, and he was talking to me about a contract. So we're talking about all these details, and we get to the end of it, and he says, "You know, Lindsay, I had my doubts about you." Like, where is this headed? Okay, I had my doubts about you, but you know what you're talking about, and you can explain it to me really well, and you're just really good at this. I'm on the other end of the phone. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It was such a huge moment for me because I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the first time I feel really accepted by my team. It's not like anybody was mean to me, but my team is strong, and my team will test any new member that comes in. My team tests for weakness. And if you don't make the cut, you're out. They will literally eat you. It's not going to work. They're a strong team, and they only accept the strongest to be on the team. And that's a big testament to my dad and the example that he has set for our team, because that started at the top. So I have continued to see that play out time and time again. We have a new person come in, the team tests them, they either rise to the challenge or they don't. And that's the culture of the place that I work in. So yes, I am an attorney and I am a woman, but I don't really like to be called a female attorney. I'd rather be known as an attorney who is a woman. Because on my team, it's never a question of, we're having a meeting, we need to have a woman in the room. It's always, we're having a meeting about this, Lindsay needs to be in that meeting. And that's the way that it is. There is no excluding me because I'm a woman. It's always about the person and the position and the work. And that's how it is on the team that I'm on. And I am a lot of times the only woman in the room, but that's because I am blessed enough to be on the senior team at a billion-dollar corporation. And I don't take that lightly. I really don't. It means a lot to me, but it means more to me because I feel like I earned that place. I had to put the work in. I had to show up. I had to be there for people whenever they called me, whenever they needed something. I had to be there for them. And it's because I wanted to, because I wanted to earn that spot. I wanted to know that when I looked at somebody and they thanked me for it, that I had worked for that I had worked to earn that thank you. And that means a lot to me. In our business, one way that will get you fired quicker than any other, and I tell this to every person that I interview, is you can't ever say, I have a master's degree. That's not my job. That doesn't work. I can imagine that doesn't work here. Is that right, Baxter? That's right. Doesn't work here. Doesn't work in my business either. You cannot say, that's not my job. I don't pick up trash. That's not my job. I don't clean toilets. That's not my job. Yes, it is. It is, because everything is your job. You take accountability for everything that is a part of your job, and you make it important to you. So there are many things. We would be here until next year if I started telling you all the things that I have done outside of my job description. That's just not the way our team works. If I'm in a meeting and I say, I have this thing coming up, but I don't really have time to do it, well, Justin's going to say, I'll take that for you. Don't worry about it. I got that this time. And then the next time we're in a meeting when Justin says, I got this thing coming up, but I don't have time to do it, I'm going to say, I owe you one. I got that. I got you on that. And that's just the way our team works. We had an incredible group of men on Monday of this week, and they own a company called Flags of Valor. And they are veteran-owned, and they employ entirely combat veterans. And we were talking, I was telling them that I was going to speak to you guys, and one of the founders asked me, we were having a meeting, and our COO was there, our CFO was there, our CEO was there, most of our senior team was there. And he said, is it normal to have this caliber of people in a meeting here? And I said, yes, because this is the team. If a decision is going to be made, the team is going to make that decision. And that's the way that we operate. And it's not about whether it's, do we have a woman in this room? It's about the team. And it's about the people who have earned their spot on the team. And that's the way our business operates. And I will tell you, it's a point of pride for me and for all of our team that we have more women and minorities in position of leadership in our company than we ever have before. And it's because we have amazing people coming in who have earned their spots too, and they want to be there, and they've shown up time and time again, and they are rising quickly through the company. And I'm really, really proud to share that with y'all. That's a point of pride for me. So we do have very much a team atmosphere. You very much have to earn the respect of everybody. But I think that one reason why we're able to earn that respect with each other is that we're not afraid to have uncomfortable conversations. So we live in a time where people are concerned about offending each other. I don't want to say something that might offend you, so I'm not actually ever going to get to the root of a problem because it might offend you if we get there. That's just not how it works. The team that I'm on is mostly men, but I have trust in them. We are loyal to each other, and I know that if I ever needed something, they would be, what do you need? What can I do? And it's really just about where do we step into line. But it's because we have had, on multiple occasions, very uncomfortable conversations, very awkward conversations. And that's not just in business. We're friends outside of work. We've had uncomfortable conversations outside of work. And if we're always going to be afraid to confront issues and to have uncomfortable conversations, we're never going to move forward together. I think that now is a more important time than ever for us to have those kind of conversations with each other and to talk about our experiences and to talk about the things that hurt us, to talk about the things we're passionate about, to talk about the things that motivate us. We have to be willing to get uncomfortable with each other because that's where you grow. My granddad always told me that you grow in the valleys, not on the mountaintops. And it's true. That's where you grow. And that's where you grow in your relationships with each other. I'm trying to hurry. I think I'm getting close to my time, right? I am? Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you a couple things really quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, getting uncomfortable, I just want to share with y'all one thing really quickly. One of my favorite quotes is by Rane, and he says, if you are always irritated by every rub, how will you ever be polished? So let's think about that. You cannot always be irritated by any rub that you get. You can't always take things personally because people don't always mean that personally. We judge other people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. And we have to be willing to look at other people and their intentions because not everybody is always trying to say something that hurts you or wrongs you. I'm gonna close, but I want to share with y'all in closing a story. Last October, we suffered a ransomware attack at our office. And it was really terrible. It was traumatic. Shut us down for a few days. Our whole company was just all hands on deck. We were pulling, 14, 16-hour days. There were people who were staying 24 hours, sleeping in the hallways, whatever they had to do to try and get us back up and running. And every single person that you talked to had a great attitude. We were all really stressed, but they all had a great attitude. Nobody was walking around, oh my gosh, I don't know what we're going to do. Everybody was saying, what do we need to do next? All right, what's our next step? And there was just this atmosphere of, where's the gap? Where can I fill it? Where can I step in? And that's the way that we made it through that. We were able to recover from a ransomware attack within a week. We were back up and running. That is unheard of. And we did not pay the ransom. We didn't pay anything. And we were able to get our company back up and running, and it's a testament to the team. One of my team members said, he was talking about the attacks at Normandy, and he was asking, why did those men and women those men at that time, why did they get out of the boat? Why did they get out of the boat? It wasn't because they were ready to run into battle. They were scared. There were people dying as soon as they stepped off the boat. They got out of the boat because of the men next to them. That's why they got out of the boat. It was their commitment to each other. That's why we jumped in full force, because it was our commitment to each other, to our team. Somebody had attacked our house. We weren't going to let that happen. I had people from truck drivers to IT managers to account managers. They were all saying, where do you need me? Where can I fill? What gap can I fill? That's the kind of team that I'm on. And I don't doubt that that's the kind of team that you guys have here. And I want to leave you with this. I read a quote that said, true leaders don't create followers. They inspire other leaders. That's what my dad has done for our team. And that's what I'd love to do for you. I want to inspire other leaders. So I want all of you to go out from here and be leaders in the world. Because just the people in this room, if you all went out and you all decided you wanted to be leaders, you could all change the world. So I hope that today I can inspire you to go out and be leaders. So don't let me down. Got it, Baxter? Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. At this time, the battalion commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Wood, and Colonel Mullahan would like to present you with a gift on behalf of the Corps of Cadets.